What's up, everybody? It's Frank here for Yogomi, and I'm here with a game review. Today, we're going to talk about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game from Gun Interactive. The game was released for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and it was actually available on Xbox Game Pass on release date. I played it on the Xbox Series X. I was sent the game and given the opportunity to review it, so I asked for the Xbox version. But I will tell you that I'm not used to playing games like this. As a matter of fact, this is the first type of survival horror game that I've played. I'm very familiar with games like Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th. I've seen plenty of people playing it, streaming it. I have a lot of friends that play it. I have a lot of fellow content creators that I've actually sat and watched them play it. It's a very fun game, but it just never seemed like the type of game that I was interested in or would even play. But when I got presented with the opportunity to play the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, because I'm a big fan of the franchise, I thought it'd be kind of fun. Now, I'm a big movie fan and I really love horror movies. I've seen every Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. There are about 9, I believe. And this particular game focuses specifically on the original 1974 film. So Gun Interactive is bringing the franchise to the gaming world in a whole different way. Now, the publisher is Sumo Digital. You may know them from hit games like Sackboy, A Big Adventure, or Little Big Planet 3. Along with Gun Interactive, they've taken the challenge to try to deliver this chilling experience that's supposed to keep you on the edge of your seat. Now, the game is all about survival horror. You'll find yourself in like this eerie, unsettling world of Leatherface, the chainsaw-wielding maniac that all the horror fans have come to know very well. Now, the game also lets you play as a group of young adults who stumble upon the terrifying Hewitt family, including Leatherface himself. So your objective is to survive this nightmare and escape the clutches of this deranged family. The gameplay promises a mix of survival mechanics, heart-pounding moments, and you'll need to rely on your wits and your friends and abilities and resourcefulness, basically, to outsmart the Hewitt family and escape. But here's the thing. As a survivor, you have to work along with your team because everyone has different skills, different abilities, different things that they can do well, and also different weaknesses. So let's talk about the characters that you get to play as. And we're going to start with the family. Let's start with the cook. So the cook has a cool skill called the Seek ability. Basically, when you're this character, you can kind of lean in and really pay attention to any weird sounds happening around the map. If you hear something strange, you can totally zoom in on it and figure out where the victim is who's making the noise, so it gives away their location and gives you a direction of where you can go to try and catch them. Now, let's talk about Sissy. Now, Sissy has got this awesome skill called the Bane Ability. She can gather up all these special plants she finds on her travels, and she could turn them into sneaky poisons. Now, what she does with these poisons is she can blow the powder right into the faces of these poor victims, or she can even use it to mess up things like all across the map, basically contaminating items. So it's sort of like creating botanical traps, things that can hurt or slow down the victims, which put them at a huge disadvantage. Next up is the Hitchhiker. So the Hitchhiker is nifty when it comes to using bones as tools. His trap ability basically can scatter traps comprised of these bones, and some poor unsuspecting player accidentally walks into these traps and the Hitchhiker gets a heads up notification, again letting him know where this victim is on the map and to send him in a direction to go try and catch them. The next character is Johnny. Now, Johnny is very sneaky. He's got a whole stalker, predator vibe going on. And just like a real hunter, he's got serious tracking skills. And with his hunt ability, he could spot and follow the fresh footsteps of poor victims wandering around the map. It's like a high-stakes game of hide and seek, but if you've gone in an area very recently, he can still track your footsteps and figure out which direction you're going, leading him to being able to find you and catch you. Now, of course, you get to play as Leatherface. I mean, he's the man with the chainsaw. He has a maim ability and he's got some very creative uses for it. Like he could chop up the poor victims he managed to cap, among other things. Now let's talk about the victims. You can choose to play as family members or you can choose to play as the victims. So it's really a PvP sort of situation. So let's talk first about Connie. In the game, you're going to find a bunch of doors that are locked, and you need to pick those locks. And Connie has got you covered. She's got a focused ability that lets her pick locks way faster than usual, but there is a catch. It takes away her stamina, and the warnings that let you know when the family get close start to dwindle, and they're not as effective. The cool part is she doesn't necessarily need to use her ability for this trick. It's like she's a speedy locksmith of the bunch. She makes things happen in a flash, even if it means sacrificing a bit of her awareness. The next character of the victims that you can play as is Sunny. Sunny is the brains of the group, and he's got something special up his sleeve. He has a heightened sense ability. Now, when he activates this, he gets a major boost in situational awareness. It's like he's suddenly tuned in to all the noises around him. Any sound someone makes nearby, Sunny's on it. He could practically sniff out where they are and even keep tabs on how they're moving. It's like he's got some kind of super detective radar, all thanks to this heightened sense ability. So you get the chance to turn these intellectual smarts into some impressive survival tactics. The next victim we're going to talk about is Julie. Now here's the thing with Julie. She's all about sports and action, so she's got the ultimate escape ability, and she knows how to use this ability like a pro. When she triggers it, it's like she becomes a ghost to the family. They can't track her down no matter how hard they try, and that's not all. She also gets this crazy stamina boost while sprinting. It's like she's got this endless reserve of energy for a little while. She could sprint away in some situations, leaving the family completely confused and unable to detect where she is or how to catch her. Our next victim we're going to talk about is Leland. Leland has got an awesome move called the Lifesaver Ability. What he does is he charges forward like a force of nature and bumps into a family member, totally catching them off guard and leaving them stunned. It's like he's using his sheer mass to his advantage, and it's pretty effective. The best part is he's not a one-trick pony. He's got a bag of tricks with his ability, and he could swoop in and save the day, interrupting a potential deadly showdown with the family, whether it's for himself or his pals. Now, the last victim we're going to talk about is Anna. Her ability is appropriately called Pain is Nothing. It's like she's a tank, and she could take a beating and shrug it off like it's no big deal. This ability significantly cuts down on the damage she'd normally take from attacks and even those heart-stopping falls, like when she jumps out of windows. But she has an extra perk up her sleeve because when she activates her ability, she's practically immune to the effects of any poison. It's like the poison just bounces right off of her like she's a walking antidote. Now, as you can see, all of the characters that you play have abilities, and you can fine-tune these abilities. Each of these skills and these abilities are like toolkits kind of waiting to be fine-tuned, so the players can dive into a breakout section of the metagame skill trees and work their magic. You can open up the ability panel right from the main skill tree and start allocating these points that you earn. It's like giving the abilities a turbo boost. Things like wanting the cooldowns to zip by faster, or if you feel like your abilities could use a bit more oomph for some power, you can do that. Players can even mess around with the key details of the abilities, change how they work, tweak the parameters, you name it. Now, I streamed this game soon after it came out, and I found it to be actually very fun. My viewers were pretty much on the edge of their seat, and it was actually exciting. Even when I got killed and I was spectating my other team, the survivors, it was very, very exhilarating. I gotta admit, I didn't think that I was gonna be pulled into the game the way that I was. Now, when you talk about the graphics and the atmosphere, Sumo Digital is known for their attention to detail. And in the Chainsaw Massacre game, they really go all out in creating a spine-chilling atmosphere. You're transported to a grim and terrifying environment that captures the essence of these films. You got creaky old houses, the misty forest, like every location is designed to keep you feeling uneasy. I also think that as a content creator, this game really delivers on creating a lot of content because it's very fun to watch, and I really think there's some cool and exciting moments that you can capture from this game. So all in all, I think this game, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, is really shaping up to be a legitimate and I think a thrilling addition to the horror game genre. If you're familiar with Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th, if you like those type of games, I think you will like this type of game because of the team aspect. You got the family versus the victims, and it's a multiplayer PvP type of thing. It's not so much a PvP thing where the victims can fight back and defeat the family members, but the fact that they have all these powers and you can enhance these powers as you play the game, I think that's a really cool effect to make you even more powerful and more stronger and able to use your abilities to escape or use your abilities to catch the victims. Now, currently in the game, there are 3 maps that you'll be dropped into. There's the family house map, the gas station map, and the slaughterhouse map. Gun Interactive went through a process of recreating the iconic locations of the 1974 film. They did extensive research from the source material to take these iconic locations and make them these in-game environments. Now, Gun Interactive is not new to this. They actually tackled the 1v8 asymmetrical horror game Friday the 13th. But with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they felt that they needed the family dynamic because that's kind of what the whole Texas Chainsaw Massacre is about. It is about the family. It's not just about Leatherface. You really have to watch out for every single member of these families because they're all just awful. Just awful. One of the really interesting things when I was streaming this is a lot of the viewers in the chat were saying that the music was really creeping them out. And there's a whole write-up on the website on how they conceptualize the sound and the audio and the music for this game to make it as creepy as possible. It's actually a very interesting read, and I highly suggest you check it out. The website has a lot of information on it that I think you'll find very interesting, and I will put the link for it in the info below. Overall, I think the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game is actually a lot of fun. It actually has changed my mind about how I feel about these games and whether or not I would play them, because now it turns out I would play them. And I've decided that I'm actually going to do community nights over on my channel. If you want, you can join the Discord to be a part of the community. We have a very fun, very positive community, and soon we're going to start making some custom lobbies and start playing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre as a community, because I think that would be a lot of fun. We've got so many people in the community that pretty sure we can fill every spot of the family and the victims and probably have to rotate people out. So that's my review on Gun Interactive's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Again, I'm a big fan of horror movies. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a classic. It's a very scary film, especially for the time. And I think it's amazing how Gun Interactive has brought that atmosphere to this game so you really feel like you're part of it. There's even some really cool tributes to some scenes from the movie that you'll see in the game. And if you know the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. So that's it for my review for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I definitely give it a thumbs up. I think you should check it out. It's a lot of fun. Get some friends together or get online and play. I also want to mention that there is in-game chat. A person ended up in my party and he was trying to help me survive and help other people survive. So it's good to have comms. That's it for this video. Thank you very much for checking out the channel and checking out the videos. I truly, truly appreciate your support. So I'll be back with a new video very soon. See ya.